Cancer is a leading cause of death by disease for children in our country, and only 4% of research funding goes towards children. These children, their lives should be filled with laughter and love, not pain and suffering.
He was a goofball. He was a little stubborn. He liked to sort of push the envelope.
But he was also the sweetest and kindest child you would ever meet. He didn't have a whole lot of symptoms. It was just a high fever for 3 or 4 days. Then the fever would go away and he'd be bouncing off the walls again. Then the fever would come back about a week later. So this cycle just continued. I kept taking him to the doctors. I was actually told to put my thermometer away and that he's too happy to be sick. We ended up at the emergency room where he needed an immediate blood transfusion. We were transported to a children's hospital about an hour away from home. And at this point, it never entered my brain that children get cancer. At 4 years old, Jeffrey asked me if his brother was going to die. At that point, we didn't know what tumor he had, what his prognosis would be. We knew nothing. So I had to tell him I didn't know. He was diagnosed with Wilms tumor.
He's a builder and has been since he was a baby. He's always been interested in how things work, how they operate, how they can be optimized. He's tough as nails. We were out on the water. He fell off a tube. And so when he was begging me to help him with his stomach pain, I was like, something's off. So I took him to Greenwich Hospital, where they discovered a tumor on his left kidney. When I learned that JB was diagnosed with cancer, my only thought was, please take me instead. There was one doctor who has made it his life's work to dedicate himself to the rarely treatable cases.
So very high-risk relapse Wilms tumor would be considered those children whose tumors come back after original treatment for diffusely anaplastic Wilms tumor, those whose tumors had come back more than once. And for those patients, typically around 10 to 20% of those were able to cure in the long run.
The ways we treat very high-risk Wilms tumor today involves intense chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation that cause a lot of acute and long-term side effects. After doing that, it doesn't always work.
The current treatments are insufficient.
Nathan's been gone almost 3 years.
He should be outside with the kids right now.
When he passed away, it was heartbreaking to me.
In a disease like Wilms tumor, where you expect that many of these kids are cured, it really can sometimes come out of nowhere, and the family's completely blindsided.
JB relapsed in November of 2022, relapsed again in April of 2023, which was one of the ugliest experiences one can ever imagine. Should he relapse again, the next step is some of these experimental trials that Dr. Ortiz is spearheading, and thank God that somebody is, because no one else is. There's no funding for this. There are so few cases. There is only private philanthropy.
This has become a mission for my family and a mission for my business.
I've been on a lifelong journey with my family to continuously seek innovative treatments to save children. I've always believed that together we can make a real difference.
The amazing part with us being invited for this opportunity is there's no hope for us. We've already lost our child, but the next child who was diagnosed yesterday, who's diagnosed tomorrow, they need that hope.
You are not just giving money. You are giving hope, time, and the possibility of a future to kids that desperately need it.
You are providing hope in an otherwise completely hopeless situation and changing the trajectory of families forever.
I'm not going to stop until the last child is saved.
I took all of my birthday money and all of my tooth fairy money and put it in a jar and donated it to Nathan's doctor. I hope Nathan's doctor will eventually find a cure to cancer.